Right here in New York City, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is threatening to withhold federal funding over subway crime. Just yesterday, the NYPD arrested a serial subway slashing suspect, but not before he cut 3 people in the face over the weekend.
Joining us now, U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Jeanine Pirro, and Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. Thank you all so much for being with us. Judge, has it been settled now? Is Washington, D.C. the model there of the National Guard and surging all the feds in to take the guns off the street into violent crime? A model for the nation.
It is. It's a model for the nation. It's a blueprint. It's a petri dish. When the president said he was going to make D.C. safe and beautiful, he meant it, and the results speak for themselves. We've had over 5,000 arrests since the surge started, more than 500 guns taken off the street. Last night, 53 arrests, three more guns taken off the street. Homicides are down 71%, and robberies are down 53%, burglaries 45%. And these are down from numbers that, how can I say this delicately, were deflated a certain amount. So when the president decided to go in and do what no other president has done, he did it effectively, and it's working.
Yeah, Sean, or Mr. Secretary, sorry. If you look at Chicago, Governor Pritzker, there are 4,000 people that have died in his state since he's been in office. The murder rate there is 5 times what it is in New York City, and that says a lot, as you know. Now we have all this subway crime here in New York City. You have these slashers. I know you've said, I'm going to withhold funds. Back in March, you said, I'm going to withhold funds if you don't share the data. Where are we now? So
just can I make a real point quick for Jeanine? You can arrest all the people you want. You can send in the National Guard, and you can make the arrest, but if you don't have prosecutors who are going to put these people behind bars, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so bringing in people like Judge Jeanine, Prosecutor Jeanine, Madam Jeanine, what's her proper name?
Jeanine.
Judge. But real prosecutors who actually enforce the law and put people in jail, that's how this actually works. And so I couldn't be prouder to work with the judge. But yeah, we want people to get on the subway, and we want it to be clean. We want it to be safe, and we've seen in New York City, to your point, we've had an escalation in violent crimes on the subways, and so we're working with the city, and we haven't pulled money yet. We're having a back and forth with them, but if they don't continue to up their game and make the subway safer, we will pull it out.
One guy that's not upping his game is Gavin Newsom, the podcaster, and he is doesn't seem relatively ambivalent with the truck driver, doesn't speak the language, who ended up killing some people over the weekend. And you're withholding funds from California. So, yeah, we started off, we withheld $40 million because they weren't enforcing the English proficiency requirements. You got to speak English. You got to understand road signs. You got to be able to talk to law enforcement, to all these people. If you get pulled over or there's a crash, law enforcement has to be able to communicate with you. So $40 million for that. And then there's a requirement that or an option that you could come from Wisconsin to California and get a non-domiciled CDL, right? It was for Americans. The Democrats have contorted the law to allow people who are in the country unlawfully to get these licenses. Who failed the test 10 times.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Literally
10 times.
They're getting the licenses now from other parts of the country, and they're issuing the licenses against the law. And so I'm going to pull another $160 million from Gavin. Yes. And by the way, that's just the start. There's millions more. We can actually revoke their ability to issue commercial driver's licenses.
So real quickly, tell us about the shutdown still happening. Dems refused in the Senate to sign the bill, the CR to continue the resolution. Air traffic control is in the crossfire. What's going to happen?
So today is the first day. They don't get any money.
No pay.
And by the way, that's rolling thunder, right? The first day is hard, but the second day is even harder than that. And the third day, because they have gas, they have childcare costs. I had one controller tell me, my 10-year-old daughter made the traveling volleyball team, and it costs hundreds of dollars. I had to tell her I couldn't pay the money because I don't have a check coming in. I have to put food on the table. That's the decisions that controllers are making.
We can help. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's tragic. But here's what's even worse. Democrats aren't voting to open up the government. But even worse, there was a bill on the floor to say, just pay the critical workers like air traffic controllers that come to work. Pay those people. And Democrats still said no to that.
But we're safe to fly.
Right. You are safe to fly because these controllers come in. They're the most amazing professionals. They do their job. They keep you safe. But again, I don't want them driving DoorDash. I don't want them going to the food bank. I want them focused on keeping you safe and your flights moving.
And they're already overworked, and we need more.
100%. That's right.
Meanwhile, Judge, we've got a lot of questions for you and Sean, but let's go to Ralph now. Ralph, you have a question for the judge.
Yes, Judge, I think you're doing a great job in D.C.
Oh, thank you.
But my question is, how do you do your job right when the district attorneys and the judges aren't enforcing the laws that the Democrats have put in office?
You know, it's a great question. Thank you so much. Look, here's the bottom line. I tell my prosecutors, you file the highest charge you can, consistent with the law and the evidence and the facts. However, if we don't have judges and we don't have juries that are making sure that these laws are followed, then we're nowhere. And the bottom line is this. In Washington, D.C., there is a D.C. council that has passed laws that makes it virtually impossible for someone under the age of 25 to serve jail time. Example, somebody goes on a public bus with families, with a gun, illegal gun, shoots someone in the chest, but for the grace of God, he survives. The judge gives this individual probation for 2 years and says, be a good boy. That is a problem in D.C. We have a revolving door of repeat offenders because the judges don't take it seriously and because the laws are a disaster. The coddling of criminals can't continue. The more we coddle them, the more we create a second, a third, a fourth victim of crime. It's a nightmare.
Meanwhile, we have another question for the Transportation Secretary, and that person's name is?
Megan.
All right. Where's Megan?
Hi, how are you? With the government shutdown continuing and with the holiday, air traffic, that holiday traveling coming up, what do you think is going to happen when, what's going to happen with the holiday traveling and the government shutdown?
That's a great question. So it depends when the government opens back up.
Yeah.
So hopefully Democrats come to their senses in relatively short order. But we see rolling impacts of this. So we have trainees that come through the system. Many of you know we're 2,000 air traffic controllers short. I'm trying to close that gap, but I need to be fully functioning, and we're not with this shutdown. And so I think there's longer-term implications because I can't make up that shortfall because Democrats haven't given us the money to keep that pipeline streaming.
So you don't think it's going to be less safe?
I don't think it's going to be less safe. So we work really hard to make sure that if we don't have enough controllers, we will slow down the airspace.
Okay.
We will shut down flights. It's our job to make sure that you fly safely.
Okay.
I'd
It's a
love you to
concern
get there
for
on
many,
time,
yeah.
but my top priority is that your plane arrives at its destination with you on it and you safe.
Great
Thank
question.
you so much.
I think we have Eric on this side of the room with a question. Where's Eric? Hi, Eric.
Hi, Judge Jeanine. What's the hardest part of your job in D.C.?
The hardest part of my job in D.C. is probably recognizing that young people are being emboldened in reoffending because they are not accountable. And that's why my number one priority is to lower the age of criminal responsibility. So if you're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old and you commit a violent crime, I want you in criminal court. We can rehabilitate you just like family court, but we're not about yoga and ice cream socials. That's the problem in D.C. There is this coddling of criminals that goes to no end other than to allow them to continue to commit crimes. It's frustrating.
Also in New York, too. So.
I think
No, but in New York, you prosecute a 13-year-old for committing murder. D.C. Council has created laws that are so absurd that they literally allow these kids to commit 10, 20 violent offenses before they're 18, and nobody knows about it because they're not in the criminal justice system.
Donald Trump got, what, 5-7% of the vote in Washington, D.C.?
Six.
Like six.
Yep.
And so, again, not a lot of fans of Donald Trump in the city of D.C., but they love these policies. People want to be safe. So they love Judge Jeanine. They love the president. They can go out to eat. They can walk down the street. And they're not afraid of getting shot or mugged or stabbed. Right. And so, again, I think it's interesting. Safety works across party lines.
It's good to see. Yeah, it's good to see you guys are working together, too.
Yeah, we're working together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Former Fox News, Fox Business, coming together.
Coming together.
All right.
Bridging the gap.
Round of applause for these two.
Yes.
We're lucky to have them.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.